Hello everybody and welcome back to the Irish Fairy Door Company's Storytime. I'm Fairy Clodagh and I'm here with my 4 fairy friends, Evie B, Ali May, Layla Bell and Jojo. And we have our toadstool nightlight on, so we're ready to go. Are you? Great, here we go. The fairy who lost his humans. All right everybody, time to go. Sarah's mum's voice rang through their now empty house. It was moving day for Sarah and her family, and although Sarah was excited about her new home, she was a bit sad to be leaving the house where she grew up. In the few days before the big move, she had written to her fairy Sammy, and he had given her some good advice. "Think of it as an adventure," he had said in his note. "Full of exciting new things to do and people to meet. Be brave and remember to have fun." This made Sarah feel much better. She thought about Sammy's note as she packed her rucksack full of her most precious things. She put her memory box inside where she kept all of Sammy's notes, and she was about to put Sammy's red fairy door inside too, when she changed her mind. "I think I'll keep it with me in the car," she thought to herself. Sarah ran out to the car and was about to get in her seat when she heard her dad's voice from behind her. "Your shoelaces are open again, Sarah. Do you need me to tie them for you?" he said with a smirk. "No, Dad. I'm 7, you know, not 4. She put Sammy's door on the roof of the car and tied her laces. "Come on, let's hit the road," said Sarah's mum, and Sarah hopped into the car before the family began their long drive across the country, with Sammy's door still on the roof. Behind his magical red door, Sammy woke up in his tiny bed and was startled to hear some unusual sounds outside. He flew over to the door and got ready to open it slightly to take a little peek. Of course, if fairies are seen by humans, they'll lose some of their magic, so he knew he had to be very careful. As the door creaked open slightly, Sammy was completely flabbergasted to see nothing but sky. He got such a shock he slammed the door closed again, which caused his fairy door to wobble on top of the car before tumbling off onto the side of the road, coming to rest against a tree. Confused by all the commotion, Sammy plucked up the courage to open his door again, and this time, instead of the sky, he saw a big furry face looking right in at him. "Hiya," the face said. Sammy slammed the door shut again with fright. "Don't be afraid, little buddy. I just saw your door fall off the car, so I wanted to help." Sammy opened his door once more. The big furry face smiled back at him. Sammy then realised that the face belonged to a red squirrel. "I'm Rua," the squirrel said, "and you must be a fairy?" Sammy nodded. "Yep, I'm a fairy all right. I'm Sammy, and I think I've lost my humans," he said as he sat on a tiny toadstool in the grass. Right at that moment it started to rain, and Sammy remembered that fairies can't fly in the rain, so his chances of finding his human family's car were not very good at all. "Wow, awesome," Rua said, before correcting himself when he saw how sad Sammy was. "Well, not awesome about your humans. That's terrible. But I've never met a fairy before. I've heard all about you guys and it's great to finally meet one." Sammy smiled. "I knew a few squirrels in Fairy Valley, but I've never met a red one, so likewise." Rua's eyes widened. "Wow, Fairy Valley sounds cool. I'd love to see it someday. I could bring you. It's kind of hard to find it if you're not in the know." "Or a fairy, of course," said Sammy. He was excited for a moment about showing his new friend all around Fairy Valley before he remembered the predicament he had found himself in and felt his heart sink. I miss Sarah so much already, Sammy said. She's my human and I love her more than anything. Well, hey, we don't have much time to lose, so you can tell me all about her on the way. Hop on! Sammy looked up at Rua. Really? Of course. What are friends for? I know a few shortcuts around here. Think of it as an adventure. Sammy smiled as he was reminded of the advice he had given to Sarah and hopped on Rua's back. Rua ran through the woods as fast as he could as he listened to Sammy tell him all about his human Sarah and about all the fun they had writing notes for each other and leaving little surprises and pictures for each other outside his door. Because Sammy couldn't fly, Rua climbed to the top of the tallest tree in the woods and they both looked around. There they are, Sammy said when he spotted his family's car at the side of the road not too far away. Sarah was standing beside the car being comforted by her mum. She looked so sad and Sammy felt his heart break a little. Sarah's dad was looking on the roof of the car and in the grass nearby. Sammy knew they must have realised the mistake they had made. With Rua suddenly moving so fast, Sammy realised he was getting closer and closer to Sarah, who was about to get back into her car. Sammy hid behind Rua's head so he wouldn't be seen by any humans, and Rua jumped into the car with the tiny fairy on his back just before Sarah closed the door. "In the bag," Sammy whispered into Rua's ear, and the squirrel jumped into Sarah's open rucksack, unseen by the humans. "Thank you so much for this, Rua," said Sammy when they were safely inside. "I can't wait to bring you to Fairy Valley." Sammy found some paper and a pencil inside the bag and started to write, his heart pounding with the excitement of it all. A few minutes later, a very upset Sarah was shocked to see a red squirrel pop its head out of her bag. She was about to scream when she noticed a little bit of paper in his mouth. She had a feeling this had something to do with her magical little friend, so she opened it and read. "Hi Sarah, it's me, Sammy. Please don't look inside the bag or I will lose some of my magic. My friend Rua has helped me so much and he will lead you back to find my door if you can follow him. I hope you can. Lots of love, Sammy." "Dad, turn this car around," Sarah shouted as Rua hopped out of the window. "Follow that squirrel!" "What on earth?" spluttered Sarah's dad. "Think of it as an adventure," Sarah said, as Sammy, at the bottom of the rucksack, smiled his biggest smile. The end. Thanks for listening, everyone, and I hope to see you again very soon.